camera shy.
Well,
if she wants to go, let me let her out.
Yeah, you go right on ahead.
Oh, yeah, she's got her nose to that door.
It says we're here, so I'm going to assume that that's accurate. I mean, in spirit, you're here. There's a ghostly, quiet, disembodied voice coming from the other side of me. There you are. Well, no, let the ad play. I could use that 1/10 of 1 penny. That would be great. Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our monthly Friday night live stream, virtual Munch, hangout, and if you give us about 30 minutes from the start of this, a Q&A. So, hi. Hi, Shelby. Hi, Kim. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Mr. Spock.
Maddie, I'm with you.
I want Motzi Sticks,
could go
too.
for Mott Sticks.
Is it Nanika? Hello, and if I have mispronounced your name, please correct me. Hi, Puppy. Hi, Shandy. Hi, Amora. Hi, Anissa. You're not ready yet. It's too early.
Yeah, there's still people rolling in.
I know.
You know me.
You need there to be like a couple dozen minimum.
I watch the number go up.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Hi, we're here. Hi, X. Hi, Missy.
Hi, Leesburg and Nissa.
Hello. I will not be driving through Leesburg next week, but I think I'll be driving close by. I have to look at a map. We're doing a band thing. Hi, Ashley. Hi, C. Stevens. Hi, J-Dog. Hi, Little Miss Sandra. Hi, Ashley. Did I say hi, Ashley, already? Well, you got to. Tonight's your night. I do it at least once a stream. I forget what I've said 2 seconds after I say it. Hi, Jerica.
Yeah.
Hi, Silent Wing. I thought I said hi, Silent Wing. Did I miss you? I might have missed you. Sorry.
Yeah, I roll by Leesburg now and again.
You just roll by? Or?
Yeah, just kind of tuck into a ball and roll.
Hi, Carrie. Are you ready yet? Hi, Susan.
Close.
Oh, yeah. The past few times we've had to go by the villages in Nissa, it has been a freaking nightmare. I don't have... You know what? No, maybe I'm not going by Leesburg because the route we're going to get to the band thing, I was very excited when I saw we weren't going to go anywhere near the villages. Only because I'm taking a specific route that means we don't have to go near the villages. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Susan number 2. You both have Susan and S, and so I thought you were the same person, and I was going to double up, but no, I'm saying hi to 2 Susans tonight. Which is actually delightful because one of my dearest friends on the planet, who sadly passed away several years ago, her name was Susan. Thank you, Shady. I got it at hold on, let me get my mouth ready to say this. The Rural King. The Rural.
Very good.
It doesn't feel right in my mouth. It's like my lips don't feel right. My cheek, like it's just, no, my mouth doesn't want to say it. Hi, Dustin.
I'm going to need to go there soon.
Hi, Katie. Well, we don't have to go there with a budget because I want some shirts. But only if they're any good. Like, I don't just buy shirts at hold on, let me slow down to say it, Rural King, just because, like, they got to speak to my soul on some level.
Okay.
Hi,
Hello.
HHF 9000. Had to get that last one in, sorry. They showed up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Glad to have you join us.
Carrie, did I say hi to you already? If not, hello. If I did, you also get a double hello. People assume that time is a strict progression of a cause to effect, but actually from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, yeah, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Yep.
The actual triumph is that a couple weeks ago, nobody was wearing that shirt. And look at you wearing it today.
I know.
Things are working.
Yes.
I actually do try to say that second R. Is it Adeline? If I said that wrong, please correct me. Hello. It comes out rural. It's a R. It's a hard R in the center. Like I say the second R.
Earl.
Right. Exactly. But it's like I missed the U between the two R's.
Got a little guttural thing going on there. Earl.
Hi, Justin. So. Puppy, you could start the adult beverage whenever you would like. We are not adult beveraging tonight.
Nope.
JB never wants to adult beverage when he's in the early days of, hey, I'm actually trying to fit into my pants again. And if I have an adult beverage tonight, I will probably fall asleep midstream. Like I could, like if you left me to sit still in a dim room right now and didn't have this blazing light box in my eyeballs, I would fall asleep. I am that tired. It is that kind of day.
You woke me up to be here.
I know. I know. And my fellow olds, you'll get this. I was waking him up all gentle, like we don't go like crashing into anybody to wake him up. I'm like, hi. And I could see his eyelids, his eyeballs moving under his eyelids. And I went, it's the year 2525. And if you know that reference, we are also old together. And it's great.
And then I said, well, why am I still here?
Because I'm not letting him go no damn where without me, clearly. Oh, a Diet Coke. I got a Diet Coke as a treat this afternoon and sucked it down over dinner. It is gone. It was gone before dinner was over.
It was an aftercare Diet Coke.
It was because you beat my ass this morning.
I did.
Which is a little bit of why I'm tired now. Not because it was physically draining for me. It was mostly your arm doing the work. But it was emotionally, like there was a lot of, like it was a loud one. I was yelling.
You were.
I was flinching.
Speaking of which, I got to get something.
Oh, I wondered if you were going to do show and tell.
Yeah.
So, oh, Girl Scout cookies.
Thin mints.
Thin mints, I know. But, you know, those little boxes have less cookies and are like double the price they used to be. Yep. I just can't do it. But if somebody ever wanted to gift me Girl Scout cookies, Thin Mints, I would not say no. X, I think I am getting better at saying it too. It's all the practice I'm getting. And I'm forcing myself to slow down so I can say it. So, yeah. So, it is a little after 9:30. Just to give anybody who's new to this particular stream a heads up, what we do is we just sit around and chit chat and bullshit for like the first 30 minutes until 10 o'clock our time. I don't know your time. I'm not in your time zone. And then we open it up for Q&A at that point, and we will tell you how that works at that point. If you try to ask a question now, we either won't see it or just won't answer it. Please hold questions. If you need to like write it down or put a note on your phone or whatever so you remember it, I understand. But yeah, so in about 30 minutes from now, roughly, we'll talk about doing the question and answer thing.
How does that work? I wasn't here when you explained it.
I haven't explained it yet. I've told them all to wait a damn minute. Yeah, I'm not usually buying cans of soup sampling, and I've always in my mind go, that's one of the cheapest things you can buy, especially if it's this type of soup you're cooking with, like a cream of fill in the blank. And I was able to get the like store brand relatively inexpensive, but I was looking at that Campbell soup price. It is not a Campbell soup price anymore. Inflation came for Campbell soup too. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying not to think about eggs. We had been going really hard on the eggs for a while, and we were buying like 2 18-packs, so total of 36 eggs every like couple of weeks. We've slowed down on eating eggs, and that's a good thing because the prices are crazy. But we had like a cycle of prices because over the summer, I think they spiked, and we were like, what the hell's going on with eggs? Mm-hmm. And then for us, prices came back down again, not to where they had been, but to something less, than a second mortgage on the house. And now they've spiked back up again. And it's like, okay, I guess we're...
I guess the cost of chicken feed and I guess bird flu.
Yeah, it's all of it.
Yep.
It's all of it. Hi, Kitsune. I think I say that right. If I don't say that right, please correct me. Sadly, though, you might correct me and I won't remember the next time because I have a mind like a sieve, no longer like a steel trap.
I think it's Kitsune.
Okay. Correct me after the fact. Thank you. I won't remember. And we'll go through this conversation the next time. Because I have that kind of... You know what, more on the Arizona sweet tea? Here's what's so funny about that. I had been watching, I think it was on YouTube. I was watching a video of some sort from like a reputable like outlet, like a place that you're like, okay, they're usually right. And they were talking about how the guy in charge of Arizona tea had like made a promise that through all of this, his tea was not going up beyond the 99 cents a can. And if you saw it being sold for more than that, like that was a problem, and that's not what they did. And I watched that and I was like, that's kind of cool that they're sticking with that through the thick and thin kind of deal. And then not like a month later, I saw that Arizona tea had legitimately gone up in price. I was like, wait, they just did this whole like little expose, like feature thing and hyped it up about how they were purposely not increasing the price.
Can't believe anything they say.
Hi, Rara. Enjoy the dungeon. Which tiara are you wearing? Is what I need to know. Also, which pair of shoes? Also, just what do you look like? Is there a picture somewhere? Point me to your Instagram. Have you taken the selfie yet? So... I got nothing right now.
I could use a little winter fire.
I mean, do you mean that in the event that Princess Rara is at this weekend, or do you mean that you could use some sort of sexual or kink innuendo winter fire that my brain cells are not piecing together?
Or maybe I was just thinking about an actual bonfire.
Oh, okay. See, I have questions. I am at that level of tired where it's basically like being drunk without the fun part of being drunk. Like I still have, like I'm not dancing on any tables, but I'm loopy as shit.
Yeah.
So. Yes, I mean, I would like to come up to Canada and buy some eggs, because a dozen of the cheap ass eggs that, you know, those poor chickens never saw daylight, nobody ever loved them. They're easily $4 or $5 in Walmart, which is usually one of the better prices you can get. And an 18 pack of the cheap sad chicken eggs is like $7. And we try not to buy the sad chicken eggs. We try to buy the eggs where like the chickens were allowed to like look outside and maybe eat a bug or two. Like we try. It's a little expensive even when we're not in the middle of this. And I can't even look at those eggs right now. I'm like, well, I guess we're eating sad chicken eggs. That's what we're eating.
We need a chicken coop.
Here's the thing. I like that in theory. I love when I land on the "we have chickens" side of the Instagram algorithm, because it looks kind of darling and kind of like chickens have personalities. But then I think about the level of work that would have to go into, one, keeping Lola from chasing said chickens, two, feeding and gathering eggs and like cleaning, and because I've also seen the reels that are hilarious, but they're also showing you how they're like daily, like going in and cleaning, and I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. I could barely keep these children clean. I don't know. And they are self-sufficient enough to clean themselves. How am I supposed to clean, like take care of chickens too? And Maddie, I hate getting up early. I mean, I do get up early. 2 days in a row, my eyes decided to just open 5 minutes before the damn alarm went off at 6 a.m. Actually, last night I woke up multiple times.
Did you really?
And like full on awake, could have had a conversation, and then couldn't go back to sleep. And when it happened the first time, I went, oh, maybe this is like yesterday where I woke up a couple of minutes before the alarm went off. I'll lay here for a second. No, it was not. Yeah, if my body would just let me, I would sleep in. Most days, it's delightful to kind of laze around in bed. However, I fear that I've now forced myself to wake up early for so many literal decades now that I will never be able to go back to being able to sleep in, even when there's not like kids or whatever, school schedules and stuff to keep up with. I think I'm a you.
You become me?
I mean, there on some levels, being more like JB is not a bad thing. It's like probably a good thing. I'm probably a better person if I'm more like JB. But this is the one trait you can fucking keep, okay?
Hey, I've been sleeping to the alarm.
I know, and I have not been.
So we've traded.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Here's the thing, Silent. I think he would enjoy the coop building process.
Yeah.
And I think he would love to have a place to use the wood shavings. Yes, to all of that. But then at the end of the day, there are still chickens to care for. It's like, maybe what we could do is just build the chicken coop and talk about one day and then
Pretend.
Just never. Right. Imaginary chickens that I only have to go, air quote, feed when I remember I have imaginary chickens. That works. We had, when we lived in the rental before we bought this house, our across the street neighbors had chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule, they were free range. They just wandered the
the neighborhood.
And the rule was if you found some chicken eggs in your backyard, they were yours. Like, feel free to keep them
or
wherever. Yeah. But if they came into your yard, ate your bugs, laid some eggs, and wandered off, you got to keep the eggs.
The eggs were yours.
I don't think they ever laid eggs while we were there in our yard. They
not
did
in
for the
yard.
neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
Yep. But also, one day there'd be 4 chickens, and then the next day there'd be 2 or 3 because something got one of the chickens. And you'd hear the woman, the wife who lived in that house, yelling for her chickens, like just wandering down the street. Like, this is a suburb. This is not the middle of nowhere. Wandering down the street, yelling for her chickens. And I was like,
Well, Mr. Spock, imaginary eggs are great for the cholesterol.
Yeah. Nope. Maybe like one day, if you and I ever slow down professionally, maybe chickens. But then we couldn't travel because what the hell would we do if we were gone for days at a time?
We tell one of the neighbors, take care of the chickens and you can keep the eggs while we're gone.
But I'm not friends with our neighbors. And one of the neighbors who probably would do it for you, she's about to move.
I know.
And the other neighbor, I think, works more hours than we do and not at home. So,
Mm-mm.
Mr. Spock, I had not read that specific, stat about cholesterol, but I had read several things that said, eggs really aren't as bad for us as they.
Yeah, no, Silent, you're right. Kayla is not
Jesus
a homesteader.
Christ, no. Oh, no. Well, look, I would not mind enjoying the benefits of that kind of life, but I don't want to participate. That kind of. I have nothing but admiration for people who do it. Sometimes I end up on that side of the Instagram algorithm as well, and I'm like, I don't understand you, but I admire you.
What would you do if I told you I've decided we're going to go live off grid?
I would say that you don't get to make that decision without a very thorough negotiation. And I would remind you that off-grid does not mean you literally have to peck and scratch at the ground like you yourself are the chicken. You can still have technological amenities. You just got to, have your own system to power it. iPath girl. And thank you. It's from the, Rural King. No, definitely no goats. Definitely no fucking goats. Hi, Mally. No, not gonna homestead. No. Look, I think any recipe that requires more than 5 ingredients and more than about 6 steps is too much work to cook to feed myself and my family. I really don't see me also being the person to go, you know what, we're going to go outside and actually grow this shit. First of all, I'd never cook again. We'd just eat everything raw. Okay?
You should have seen the vegetable garden I had when I lived in Pasco.
You should have seen the one my dad had when I was a kid, and we had 4 acres of actual property. We had literal fucking rows. He looked like a goddamn farmer out there. It was just 3 of us. He had multiple rows of multiple vegetables. We ate really well. I know why I did it. We were poor as shit. If you could grow your own food, at least that was something you didn't have to buy at the grocery store. But holy shit. That's how I know that life ain't for me. I'm here to do some weeding for about 10 minutes. I'm here to maybe pretend I know how to pick a vegetable, a fruit, a something for about 3 minutes. The moment like my hands get tired or my back gets tired or there's a little sweat, I'm done. There's a reason that the poor oranges that never got like picked on time but still need to come off the tree are still sitting on the tree.
There were so many oranges. I was giving away oranges left
Everybody
and right.
got one. I mean, we were the Oprah of oranges for a while there.
Shopping bags, and
yet,
still
we got no oranges.
I know.
We got the rotting oranges on our little tree.
The freeze got the oranges.
Yeah. Like I when we bought this place, or even before we bought this place, we had talked like for half a second. Maybe we should have a boxed like little vegetable garden. I'm not going to go out there and take care of that.
Maybe what we need is a commune.
Oh no, you still have to work on a commune. And unless one of the acceptable jobs is, will you please make all our content and post it to social media for us, Kayla Lords? I'm not cut out for a commune either. Okay. I'm not watching nobody else's fucking kids.
What if we threw in a kink?
I'm not cooking for no damn body else.
What if it threw in a kink element?
Again, I would be the one who could create the content and sit online all day. Or is taking long walks by yourself with only your own thoughts to comfort you a job on a commune? Probably not. Oh, I could be the sage or the spiritual leader. I will say nothing spiritual, but I will go off on those long walks because I need to commune with nature. But I don't think that's a legit job at the commune.
Jessica, it's menthol tonight.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if I'm going to lead weekly conversations about kink, but after a while, everybody's going to get tired of me. I'll just start saying the same shit over and over again. Like, no. No.
A kinky cult. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Work. So I'm a cult leader? Okay, I need to be one of those cult leaders. You want to know what kind of cult leader I want to be? And I can't think of his name, even though his face is in my head. The Umbrella Academy. Klaus, who accidentally founded a cult.
Yeah.
That would be me. That would be me. Not even knowing I founded a cult, just trying to be light and love. Actually, I wouldn't. I'd be snark and sarcasm, but and F-bombs. But that same vibe.
Look, Dustin has it for you. You can get ordained by the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Noodle Monster and be the commune's cleric.
Okay, but the only job I want is to go be by myself and air quote commune with nature, as long as nature is air conditioned and has walls and a ceiling and an internet connection. So, yeah, I know, Mr. Spock. Anybody who's like gone through the whole archive, you are here for me to keep saying the same shit over and over again.
She's on more episodes than I am.
I don't know, Mr. Spock. No, I mean, if it could somehow be managed without causing harm to others in any way, or inconveniencing others even that level, I would happily be a pampered princess who just exists, and like whatever it is that I like imagine I might want in those 5 minutes, I get to have. You can't have that without it causing, like, not being good for somebody else somewhere, so I can't have that, but that is the life. Yes, if I could have the Kayla Lord's version of a Pope mobile, also a Pope house, same principle, just solitude. But you know what? First of all, I would not be bored with solitude at first because I just talk to myself. And I have interesting conversations with myself because...
I heard you in the shower.
Shush, you're supposed to pretend. You're supposed to pretend you don't hear that. Especially now that you have hearing aids, okay? I keep forgetting that you can actually hear me now. But eventually, I would get bored, or I would become such a hermit I wouldn't know how to interact with people when they came around again. That can't be good either.
See, Dustin said you could even wear purple robes.
I mean, if it's too much material touching me, I'm not going to like that either. Look, I'm a picky ass bitch, okay? The purple would have to be the perfect shade of purple, but then I'd have to have multiples, because if I have to look at the same shade of purple every day, I will get tired of it and it will no longer be the perfect shade of purple. It also has to be the perfect material, weight, texture, all of that. It has to keep me cool when I have a hot flash and warm when the temperature goes down. I just can't be satisfied. I can't be satisfied. No, not a hat. Be careful. I can't do a hat. I look funky in a hat. I don't look right. This head is not made for hats. Oh, God. Oh, it's so dusty.
This is what she'd look like.
Nobody can hear you in the microphone.
This is what she'd look like.
I mean, essentially. Yes, Amora, but I only record them or stream them from like an undisclosed location that has a full mini bar, all the snacks I want, and is fully air conditioned. And so I'm not even like physically in your presence. It's all through a screen. Yes. You know, it's not unlike now. Yeah.
Excuse me.
But see, also, I would love to live the lifestyle with which I would like to become accustomed. So we're also going to need some kink version of the mega church system, like that whole racket they got going. Dial a prayer. I mean, that would be a dial a rant. It would not be a dial a prayer. I send out good vibes and thoughts. That's what I do. But yeah, like whatever that racket is, like that grift. Yeah. We gotta do that part too.
Kayla's the Princess Brat.
That is not untrue at all. That's very accurate. So, you know, Path Girl, I am and I am not a diva. I've never had the luxury of being the diva that I would like to be, okay? But I could be if given the right opportunity and circumstance, yes. But I'd like to think I'd be a benevolent diva. Like, I don't actually, like, I care about other people. I don't want other people, I'm also a people pleaser, so I don't want people to be put out. I'm not comfortable when people do things on my behalf, except in the fantasy world we're creating right now. You know. Oh, Kim. Oh, Lord. I don't really mind, Mr. Spock. It's okay. The Panhandle couldn't handle me back then. They sure as shit can't handle me now. So, no, I just, you know. I mean, sure, Path Girl, but I have a sense of, like, the way I'm kind of built, blame the people-pleasing and the childhood trauma, I'm not comfortable ever with something being just for my benefit, like, ever. Like, even if it is somebody could, like, a deity could come down from on high and go, Kayla Lords, this thing only exists for your benefit. Nobody would ever care. Nobody needs it. Nobody wants it. It's just for you. And I'd be like, but are we sure? And I'd have to go around and ask everybody if they could also benefit from it. Like, I don't know. I'm a diva in theory, just like I'm non-monogamous in theory. Oh, Amora, I wouldn't name the cult. I'd let the cult name itself. Sort of like everything else I've ever done. Mr. Spock, I know if I just don't try hard enough, those personal ethics will just go right out the fucking window. Florida is multiple places all at once.
Yeah.
And the type of Florida you're in can change just by crossing a highway or a county limit or a city limit. And it could be a whole different place. It's very weird here. Not the cult of Richard or Sir Richard or the cult of Aubergine, which I know I said that. I butchered that. I know that's not how anybody would probably say it. Jessica, don't tell my mama that. She'll be very concerned. It kills me because you give me a mic, you put a camera on me, and let me get comfortable, and I act a damn fool, and all the parts of me that nobody is allowed to witness, except for JB, just come pouring out. But, like, take away all of that, and I am just a glaring, quiet woman in a corner somewhere. Like, that's all I am. This is what's going on in my head all the time. And something about y'all makes me go, you know what? Yeah, we could let it out of our head and let the crazy show. It's fine. It's fine.
Right, Pascal? Florida man. Mm-hmm. And I just sit here all quiet and take it in.
I know. And what both cracks me the fuck up and annoys the shit out of me is that you do that because you enjoy it, or you're used to it, or you tolerate it, or you've given up. I can't
stop it.
Or that. And damn if somebody doesn't, like, come crawling out of a woodwork somewhere to go, well, that's no real Dom. Or my favorite, well, he doesn't look very happy. Maybe JB has a resting bitch face. Did you ever think of that?
I'm never happy.
Maybe he's just trying to process the craziness coming out of his partner.
Hence the nickname Grumpy Polar Bear.
Something that is true, but I knew a Steve and he was a total fucking ass. I don't even like the name Steve. No offense to any Steves out there. I'm sure you're lovely if you're here, but it was a bad experience. And then 25 years later, because it was a childhood bully kind of thing, he slides into my DMs to just, like, randomly apologize to me for something I had not thought about in, like, 15 years. I was like, oh, good, I'm glad I got that traumatic jolt in the middle of the night at random on, like, a fucking Tuesday. I hadn't thought about your existence since I moved away from that shitty place. But sure, thanks. I'm glad I could provide the canvas for your apology. That really isn't even about me. Thanks. Nah, Susan. That chicken better be able to take care of itself and deliver its own fucking eggs. It's 10 o'clock. The chaos is not stopping, but I'm going to, like, pause.
What happens now?
Technically, we will your cue, okay? The Q&A part does begin now. Before your fingers start flying across a keyboard of some sort. To ask your question, 1, tag us at Loving BDSM. YouTube is better about tagging now. If you started, it should autofill just, yeah. So we'll see it. That's how we'll see your question. If we don't see your question, it's hard to answer it. 2, if your question's going to take more than 1 or 2 blocks of text to answer, this is not the form. That's too complicated of a question. We have a contact page on our website. Please feel free to email us. I am doing better about emailing back. I'm only making people wait a week at this point. 3, if you spam the chat with your question because you think we haven't seen it or you want us to answer it faster, Mr. Spock and Silent Wing are amazing moderators. They will put you in a timeout, and they have our blessing to do so.
They'll drop the hammer on you.
Exactly. Is there anything else? I think that's it.
I think you did quite well.
So if you got a question, feel free. Just make sure you tag us. It can be about your personal situation, about a thing you're curious about us. We're kind of open books. I don't know if you noticed. And in the meantime, while you're asking your question, let the chaos continue. Now my throat hurts because I went on whatever the fuck that was for the past 30 minutes.
So Lola today got to use her really, really big girl's voice.
Lola used the voice that reminds you she's a big ass dog.
Yep.
With big ass teeth.
We, our exterminator came in today. And she's generally not very fond of them anyway.
No.
So I put her in her crate and have a big blanket, and I covered up her crate.
Because if she can see you, she will bark at you.
Right.
Incessant.
And he's going through the house, and she barked a few times, and Lola, hush. And he came into the living room where her crate is, and the blanket doesn't make it all the way down to the floor. She saw his spray wand. She went berserk. I have never heard her growl and bark the way she did. She had that deep, like guttural
I will rip
growl.
You to fucking pieces,
yes,
motherfucker. Like, yeah. And it's that wand that the thing they use when they're doing like pest control spraying.
Mm-hmm,
it's something about that. I don't know what trauma she experienced previous to us, but it was enough that.
I mean, I've heard her bark. She talks to the other dogs in the neighborhood when she's outside, and she barks. She barks with the dog on the one side, barks with the dog on the other side.
I mean, it's a conversation that goes like this: "Hey, yeah, fucker, fuck you." Okay, but in barks.
Right. This was like, I mean, she had such a deep guttural growl going. I have never heard anything like that from her before. She was serious.
She meant that shit.
She was serious as shit.
He wasn't chatty this time, and he got in and got out.
Yeah, he did.
Jessica asked, what platform do we use for podcasts? So it's all hosted through our own website, like we self-host that. But the system we use, and we pay for hosting for the audio files, is called Blueberry, Blubrry. We pay a monthly amount, get a ton of features, support's really good. I used to have like a coupon code where you could get like a month free. I think if that's still active, I think it's just my name, Kayla Lords, like all one word. But that we use Blueberry.
I like blueberries.
So do I. So does Lola.
Yes.
She now gets 2 blueberries every morning that I put blueberries on my breakfast. With my overnight oats, I'll usually put some blueberries on top.
And she gets banana tribute when I make my smoothie in the morning.
It's the banana tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I see the conversation about wisdom teeth. I had 2 taken out at once. I'm sure I was loopy, but I don't remember. I was about 30, 31, something like that. It was after I'd split from the ex. So it must have been my friend Susan who came to take care of me. It was not my mother. That I would remember that. We would have killed one another within the first 12 hours. Like, me and my mom are close, and we love one another fiercely. Like, we do okay together, but we're too much alike, and if we have to be in an enclosed space,
extended periods.
We get on each other's last fucking nerve. But But I had two. Top two. I still have the bottom two. I just remember laying on the couch for a day or so. That's all I remember. But yeah, it was only just under 10 years ago. Just over 10. How does math work? How old am I? If I was 30, early 30s, 31, 32. So, yeah. But not gonna lie, I don't know how true or fake or like whatever, but I kind of like the little reels and videos I see of the people coming out from the dentist after having like wisdom teeth out or whatever, and they seem to be like just off their fucking gourd. They're so high. I'm like, yeah. So what'd you do today? Other than beat my ass. Consensually.
Made paddles.
You did?
Worked on making paddles.
I know I did things. I did a lot of things. I did so many things, but I'm so tired.
And finally responded to some comments on something I wrote on Fet a little more than a week ago.
So here's what's funny, because I only go on Fet for brand stuff. Loving BDSM, Kinkery. I rarely go into my own personal Fet, and when I am in Fet, I don't look at anything. I just look at notifications. I just post shit. I get the fuck out. I answer DMs. I get the fuck out. And what I'm learning, only because I happen to catch things out of the corner of my eye as I'm like walking behind you, is you have like a whole fucking life going on your FetLife account that I know nothing about. I could go find. I mean, it's not like it's private.
It's not. Go look. You sit right behind me. All you have to do is turn your head a little to the right, and you see my entire screen.
I'm one of those busy bitches, okay, who's got about 85 million things going on at once. The day you catch me with my head craned around to look at your screen, you need to wonder what the fuck's wrong, okay? Plus, you also, because you get up so early, especially when you're not sleeping well, you're typing away at like 5:30 in the fucking morning. Yes, that's usually what wakes me up, is clackety, clackety, clackety. And I don't care. It's not that I'm like, I can't believe you have this, whatever the hell you're doing on FetLife. It's the absurd notion of the fact that I'm in FetLife in 2, sometimes 3 different ways. And the only way I even figured out that this was something you were doing on some kind of regular basis was because I did happen to look at your screen as I was walking behind you. And I was like, oh, I know that screen. That's you're writing a thing and you're formatting it screen. I know that screen. But I have yet to be curious enough to go read what you're writing. I'm an awful wife and submissive. I suck.
Oh, God, you're hilarious.
So, yeah, you don't have a double life because it's all out there in the open. But in my, brain, I'm like, what's he doing? Who's he talking to? How come I didn't know? And you know what it is? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the mic. You know what it is?
What is it?
I verbally vomit everything I'm thinking and doing at you. So you are never expected to remember it. There's no test afterwards.
Thank God.
But every single thing I do, at some point I have told you I'm doing. And you're not like me.
What? What? I'm not like you?
Well, X, the not reading over his shoulder thing, yeah, I think that's just kind of like the right thing to do. But if part of me's like, if you cared enough, you'd go to your FetLife page, you'd go look at his profile, and you'd see what he's writing. That clearly folks are commenting on, because, and you're getting into separate conversations in your DMs. Okay, maybe I've done more than glance at the screen. I've actually never read anything that you've written unless you asked me, hey, I'm trying to respond to this message. Does this sound right? But, it's out there publicly available. part of me's like, if you gave enough of a shit, you could go just read it. And I'm like,
right? If you go to your Fet page, it'd be, oh, look,
I know, but
notifications,
you know what?
JB wrote something.
Here's how my brain works. If you wanted me to know, you would just tell me. Right? So it does feel a little bit like a privacy thing.
X, it's not really about privacy because we don't really keep anything from either of us.
No, we know how to get into each other's phones. Like, we can just pick something.
Right.
And go
we have each other's passwords and everything because we, we're just like that. And yet, I very seldom, for any reason, unless you ask me, get in my phone and get this for me. Sure. Or, the same thing with you. And
only to place your coffee order for you, mostly
coffee orders, yeah. Mm-hmm. And if there is something that is private, I just tell her I need a moment here.
Sure.
I need I just.
Okay, question for both of us individually and together. Any must-dos for South Florida / the Keys or the East Coast, especially in February and March? The only time I've ever gone to South Florida, one, I was terrified for my life as a passenger driving into Fort Lauderdale, and the only thing I remember is going to my aunt and uncle's condo. I don't think that will help you. And I've only been to Miami via the airport. So I am no help with South Florida.
Yeah, very little here. The Keys, I know very little. Never been to the Keys, actually.
I hope you're going to have key lime pie, unless you can't have key lime pie.
Yeah.
But if you can, I hope you do, because apparently it's delicious.
Yeah, never been.
Apparently it's delicious in the Keys. Like, I've had key lime pie.
Yeah, it's.
That's what I mean.
I was in South Florida last summer for a long weekend, and I was shocked by the number of iguanas.
Yeah, now I'll say at that time of year, if it gets cold, you get a cold spell, they might fall out of the tree onto like a car for you.
Yeah, and I think what struck me with South Florida was like the Fort Lauderdale area is how congested and commercial it become.
God, yeah.
Now, I did enjoy going to the stock room. No,
stock
Fetish.
room. Wrong store, yeah.
Fetish Factory.
I thought Fetish Factory was a brand. I didn't know that was the store.
Yeah.
There was a store, Fetish Factory.
Fetish Factory. That was really cool. Really great place.
Yeah. Got nothing for that. Got nothing for just the East Coast in general. February, March, the weather actually shouldn't... Depends. If it's closer to March, the weather should not be too terrible. February, we sometimes get cold snaps, which might not be that cold for you. To us, it would be cold. But that time of year, at that time of year, there's still lots of outdoor festivals because it's so pleasant to be outside. Mm-hmm. By the time you get to about like April, May, we're wrapping it up. We're going inside where the AC is. Yeah. But I don't know of anything. Every year has the iguanas, Silent Wing. The iguanas live in South Florida, and when it gets cold, they go... Whatever happens with lizards, they
fall out of trees.
And they end up falling out of trees or off the side of buildings or whatever.
Because they're cold-blooded, yeah.
Right. Apparently, and I learned this from my aunt and uncle when they lived down in South Florida, and I respect this. Iguanas don't shit where they eat, and mad respect for that, because same. But apparently what iguanas will do is, let's say they're on like a roof, maybe it's a flat roof, they will hang their back end off the edge of the building and shit down the building.
Incoming.
Right. Right. My aunt told a story of, I don't know if it was the pool where she was or it was a person who had a pool at like their builder or whatever. They kept accusing the people who lived like in the condo building of somebody was shitting in the pool. Come to find out it was the iguanas. And apparently, whatever iguana shit at that size looks like, it was similar enough to human shit that there were some accusations being thrown around about somebody was shitting in the pool.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah. Amor asks, have we thought of playing the card game We're Not Really Strangers? I saw it on Reels and people claiming they ended up getting really vulnerable. That sounds vaguely familiar. Like,
what's it called?
We're Not Really Strangers.
I've never heard of it.
Vaguely familiar, but not enough to like have an opinion one way or the other. I have to look into it.
Yeah.
Something the evening did take a turn. I don't have firsthand experience with the frozen or the shitting iguanas. It's all secondhand, thirdhand, like stories from, but.
I mean, this is the first iguana shit, you know. Yeah.
Yep. And it's a South Florida winter situation thing. So once it warms up to whatever temperature,
normal temps,
then they're just fucking everywhere, apparently. But they're not falling out of the sky or anything. The shit might be, but not the iguanas. And you thought, you came here for the kink. I mean, I guess shitting iguanas is probably somebody's kink. Somebody somewhere. Not mine. Your kink's not my kink, but your kink's okay. It's fine. Yep. I could have sworn, I don't know if I'm like my brain has just made this up or if my aunt really did tell the story of iguanas that had like a group of them had like gone into a car to get warm, and somebody she knew like opened up their car door and there were like multiple iguanas just like looking at her. Like, I don't know.
Well, you don't leave your windows down.
Well, you shouldn't, but people do shit. So, okay. Just a reminder, this is the Q&A portion, so if you have questions, please not about iguana shit. I don't know anything. So, yeah, feel free to ask those questions. Let us get off of the iguana shit topic however we can, quite frankly. I don't know. I feel like we talk about the same old thing. You know what? If you feel up for it, because we did say at the end of Wednesday's live stream that you might do a show and tell.
Yeah.
We launched a new product over at the Kinkery technically yesterday, but that was for like our email newsletter folks. And then today we like put it out on social media. And so there's a new product. Amor has a question. Are you interested in trying to be in a baby girl headspace whenever you're able? Right now, where I'm at in life, I don't think too much about, am I in this headspace? Am I in that headspace? What headspace would I like to be in? Every once in a while, I will complain that I'm not doing things that make me feel like my ooey gooey baby girl self. Like, I haven't seen a animated movie in fucking forever. Like, I haven't just sat on the couch and like curled up in a blankie and just like, done that. But I do try to let my baby girl side just sort of like exist in whatever way is appropriate. So, I get giggly, I get silly, I get pouty,
Oh yeah.
I think right now though, I've had to like be serious about so much, be worried about so much, be doing so much, not even just like professionally, but like home stuff, and that I'm kind of almost always in serious mode. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like for me, being able to think about, can I spend time in this particular headspace is sort of a luxury of having the time to actually think about that. Right now, it's sort of a go, go, go. Every day there's something to do or to think about or to worry about or to work for or whatever. That I'm just not there. If I can let my baby girl side kind of come out organically and not like without it being like a set thing, then I will. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Little Miss Sandra asks, have you ever eaten kangaroo, and what strange foods have you tried? I've never eaten kangaroo. I think the strangest food I've ever tried, and it was actually not my first time trying it, but I was at like a fair, was fried alligator, which tastes like a marine chicken. Like, it's chicken-ish, but like you can taste the bayou a little bit. But that was actually maybe my first time eating alligator. I've eaten frog's legs. I've eaten turtle. Now, the turtle I ate as a kid weren't really supposed to have caught that turtle. It was like one of the protected species, but my grandfather was fishing in a canal and a turtle got caught up, and once he like pulled it out and fished it out, he was like, well, we got turtle, and we had turtle stew that night at my grandmother's house. It also has a very chicken-ish but river kind of flavor too. That's probably the, air quote, that weirdest.
Yeah. Alligator.
Yeah.
That I can think of.
Bayou chicken. Yeah. Frog legs taste like chicken too if you fry them.
I've never had frog legs.
They taste like, I mean, the texture's not like chicken. And I think there's probably still a hint of a water aftertaste, but yeah.
And I can't think of anything else beyond that. Although, no, well, as a kid, my dad did try to get me to eat head cheese.
I'm not still even sure what the fuck head cheese is, but the way I've always seen it presented makes me want to go.
And it did not go over well with me. Did not go over well with me.
Okay, so I see that Donna had a question of what is TPE. TPE stands for Total Power Exchange. Some people define that as basically almost the master-slave micromanage kind of dynamic. We don't define it that way, but some people do. Other people will define total power exchange as a 24/7 DS relationship, but they would probably not look at how we define our 24/7 DS relationship and call that a total power exchange. Typically, most of the time I see it used, it basically means that the dominant is in charge of probably as much as they can absolutely be in charge of, and the submissive is, allows that control or submission or service, all that. It's one of those that it kind of means different things to different people. Because we're in a 24/7, in my mind, we're in a 24/7, even though I have lots of autonomy. To me, if I had to define it, I'd say, yeah, it's a total power exchange, but other people would not look at our dynamic and call it total power exchange, because I do have the freedom and the need to make some decisions without a preset decision from you or coming to you for all
I think what makes it a little different for us is, in a total power exchange, most people, not all, most people, go off to work and they kind of do their thing and they come home and they continue their power exchange. We're together 24/7, so, I generally do not, and this is how it's been since day one, and that was how it was negotiated. When it comes to your work, especially when you predominantly freelanced, I had no say over what you did.
Right.
Your work was out of the loop as far as anything with the power exchange. To a certain extent, it still is, although you talk things over to me and look for guidance and look sometimes for me to make a decision on things.
Yes, but that's, I would say that is my freelance life, which accounts for maybe 10% of my work life. The rest of it, I come to you, I treat you as my dominant the way I didn't know, we didn't use the term this way 15 years ago, gentle parented my kids. Okay. I come to you with the options that I find acceptable and I go, pick. Which works great for kids too. Okay. Because the reason from the outside looking in, we will never look 24/7 to people, and that's fine. You are always the decider. The only decisions I make are either those things that you've gone, make the decision, you don't need me for that, or we've done it enough times. I know what you've given me the pattern of what the decision will be. I can just roll with it. In a total power exchange, the way most people would define it, you wouldn't have that. There would be every decision tends to go through, the dominant, and they yay or nay or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even a hard and fast definition, because you can make it mean what you need it to mean. But everything I do, it's absolutely a WWJBD. What would John Brownstone do? Okay. See, you can lead the cult now. Okay. And so I'm either going to know what the answer would be, because we've got a long enough history and pattern of what you like to have happen in this situation, or I'm going to go, he wouldn't know what to do either, so let me gather some options for him. Or I'm going to come to you and present it to you and whatever. But that is always the case in our relationship. If I'm not coming to you for an answer, it's because you've taught me what that answer would be anyway. That only works because you are predictable.
I've trained you well.
Right. I mean, it's true. That only works because those kinds of decisions are things that come up over and over and over again. So there's a pattern, and you are a fairly routine oriented person. When given the option, you want things to go the same way every time. So I know that, and I don't have to come to you. So again, from the outside looking in, it looks like I'm making all kinds of decisions. But if what would JB want me to do is the first thing I'm thinking, then you're still in control. So yeah. So, Jessica asked, what's my favorite baby girl thing to do? Probably the only thing is I like watching Disney movies, animated movies. I like reading, not fairy tales, but I like reading fairy tale retellings, because they always make me think of fairy tales and when I was a kid and stuff. That's about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't sleep with stuffies anymore. It's too fucking hot for that shit. I can barely sleep with you, and I love you.
You like your butt rubs.
I do like my butt rubs, but I don't think you have to be a baby girl to like your butt rubbed, okay? I think that's a good universal. Anybody can like having their butt rubbed. You like it when I rub your butt, so it's just a nice sensation. I like it, and it's been so long, and you were trying, and then life decided to explode on us again, so never mind. I like it when you take care of me, and that can look like so many things, but you'll put something away for me because silly baby girl just left it and wandered off, right? Or you're like, let me tuck you into bed, or let me put you to bed, not tuck me in, but no, I've asked you to tuck me in before. Mm-hmm. And when you're doing these small little things that feel like you at your most daddy and me at my most baby girl. Mm-hmm. I always love those things, but I can't really plan those. We hadn't had time. So yeah.
Miss Fox said now need what would JB do stickers.
I know. I've got. Hey, the physical products are coming to the Etsy shop. I'm gonna start working on those in February.
And there's still a stack of stuff from my Etsy shop.
I know you're on my list. Okay.
I know.
Look, I got 8 things up.
I know
You're gonna have to stop making shit everybody wants to buy, so I can get some breathing space to not be boxing shit up. We were like, oh, it's a quiet day. There weren't a lot of orders. We were a little sad because we had launched this new product, and then out of nowhere, I guess everybody got off work and got paid and went, okay, we're shopping, and then I was just boxing orders. It was great. It's a wonderful problem to have. Never complain about that. What does head cheese taste like, Ashley? This is what does head cheese taste like? Okay, so Little Miss asks, I've never watched anything on OnlyFans, but considered signing up for YouTube. Thank you. What can we expect to see? Just looking for details. Soul masturbation, baby girl daddy power exchange, punishments, tutorials, sex toy live reviews. Also, are you both excited and comfortable for this, or is it out of your comfort zones? Wishing you both the best. Thank you, Little Miss. So what we're doing right now, I see this as it's gonna grow with us kind of thing. So for right now, we are filming an individual scene for however long it takes when we do it. And also I'm taking pictures, and we are taking pictures kind of together. So far, the pictures of us, it's JB's hand in my hair, or his hand on my butt, or something like that. But we don't plan on it being purposefully educational. I mean, if you get a few pointers and tips there from watching, that's fine. The first like set of things we put out, it was a bare-handed, bare-bottom spanking scene. And then the one we just filmed that's going to start, I schedule the post and we post daily, pictures or video, was we were in your shop, and that was bare-handed and a paddle and orgasm control. And it's right now, if it's not that, like I'm trying to like find my exhibitionist side again and maybe like get some confidence in myself again. And so like I'm taking sexy selfies as well. So we do intend at some point, it's going to be so hard to figure out when, to go live and do like a live scene and like probably answer questions if people had any, but mostly just a scene. And then if we do more than that and go above and beyond that, that'll be like an organic growth kind of thing.
I mean, one of the things we've talked about, because of all the things we have our hands in, and we're so busy, and funny us, we thought we'd have more time as the kids got older.
We're just their chaperones now.
So more than anything, we're just trying to have fun with this.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be like anything else of content we make. We start out with a plan and an idea, and then we'll see what actually happens. And we tend to grow with things. Like we tend to do more as we find we have the time, or we can make it work, or we get more efficient and stuff. So yeah, it's sexy selfies, pictures of us, little video clips of us. There is the option to purchase custom stuff. Like if you really wanted to see a thing and, somebody paid for that, then we could make that. But, yeah, that's kind of what the OnlyFans is. And anybody who's like, the OnlyFans, I don't see an OnlyFans link. Nope, because you won't, not on YouTube. There is a link to the OnlyFans link in our link tree. As Silent Wing pointed out on Wednesday, it's a link forest because there's lots of fucking links there. So yeah, that's the kind of thing. I do think that we'll probably play with sex toys, not just paddles and impact play toys. We plan on doing some wax play stuff. So yeah, that's what you could expect from the OnlyFans. The nice thing is that's going to become its own community, just like this space is its own community. Our Patreon is its own community. And so I'm going to pay attention to what people ask for as well. If there's a type of content that people want, we're not going to charge extra for that. We'll just make that kind of content and be like, here, you get to see that. So we'll probably let that guide us as well as it grows. It's still a little baby page. There's just like a handful of folks. We're very grateful for those folks. So as that grows, then those things will change too.
Yep.
Dustin asks, would you ever consider making floggers? I think it's the dream. It is the dream, isn't it?
Dustin, I've always that is something that has always been in the back of my mind, even before I started making paddles. The big downfall for me is that I know nothing about leather work. I did have someone back when we lived in Tampa Bay area who would have been more than willing to teach me leather work at the time, and then we up and moved to Ocala. and that just kind of fell through. To make floggers with wooden handles, turned handles, or resin, that would be a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, I just don't know, and it's not for lack of trying. I have looked in a number of places to try and find stuff on leatherworking, specifically making floggers, and it's very difficult to find. And the few things I did find, a couple of videos, they were so poorly made.
Yep.
It was nearly impossible it was painful to watch them and try to, they were so grainy, and it was even hard to see what they were doing. So, if I were ever to have the ability to sit with someone and learn some leather work, yeah, in a heartbeat.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, because quite frankly, if we were picking our top tier impact toy, I know I will pick a flogger over a paddle. Says the paddle sellers. Like yeah. I will pick a flogger. Okay. So yeah. And Mr. Spock, the partnering with somebody would be really cool as well. But again, it's the connections and the knowing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I've I have a beautiful pair of matched floggers. The Gentle Giants.
Mm-hmm. I know. I actually have an addition to the story or the thing you're about to say, but go ahead.
And I love those floggers. They are so nice. And the fella who made them with turned handles, wood handles. And sometime after I bought them, he stopped making them. And there have been a few times I have been tempted to take them apart to reverse engineer them, but I love them so much.
Not those.
That I wouldn't. I don't want to do it.
That's a hard no for me too.
Yeah.
Can't remember his actual name, but it's the person who
Bear
owns
Things.
Bear Things. Oh,
Yeah.
I know. No, you've forgotten the semicolon part of this.
Oh.
We have recommended Bear Things so often in talking about the floggers before we found out he was no longer making floggers. He actually DM'd, I think, on FetLife at one point. I can't remember, but he reached out and said, "You have sent me so much traffic with your recommendation. Thank you." Because my purple and black play collar set came from him as well.
Your call. I got a number of things from him. Beautifully made. Your collar, wrist and ankle cuffs, a leather hog tie set.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Anyway, he reached out to say thank you for all of the recommendations, and because we have sent so many people to him, he was this was sometime last year, considering making floggers again.
Oh wow! Okay.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
I was stalking his site the other day, a couple weeks ago, and he hasn't yet. But because we can't stop fucking talking about these floggers, thank y'all for annoying the fuck out of that guy, because he thanked us for the traffic and said he's considering it.
Yeah.
So, I knew I didn't want head cheese, Ashley, but now I know I don't want head cheese. Boar's head makes it pig's tongue and peppers with chunks of ham held together with gelatin. I'm sorry, I can feel that texture on my tongue right now, and I am horrified. No, I will not. No, I won't be doing it. No head cheese for me. Carrie said, "My partner and I bought one of your canes from the Kinkery and is now our new go-to. I'm the dominant and OMG so light, easy to hold. It's perfect. We're glad you love it.
Glad you like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, this guy right here sitting next to me will go, well, this is just too simple. Who would care about this? And then people use it and they love it. You do good work, okay? I just pack the fucking box at this point. That's all I'm here to do.
You do a lot more than that. Don't.
I print the shipping labels. Actually, there was the joke. He was saying you were saying something, and I was like, you need me. If I drop dead tomorrow, you will not know how to pull an order."
You're right.
You need me. It's called job security, and I like to make myself indispensable, and then feel resentment because nobody else can do it.
And the social media work you do.
Oh, that's kind of taken on its own life. I don't feel like I'm doing anything creative now. Kinksters really like their memes. I don't know. Anyway, Silent Wing said, to you, what if you looked up tutorials for leather fringe tassels and just scaled that up for a flogger?
That might be an idea, and I will do that. Excuse me, and I can't spell leather at this time of night.
Yeah, you forgot the H. There's no. It's letter. It's letter. He's letter. Look, I am paranoid about boxes.
That's New York version. The letter.
Oh Lord. You are, I mean, I know you don't have anything to say about it yet, but you are planning on making like a one-of-a-kind kind of paddle too.
I am.
Found a beautiful piece of wood. You're like, this isn't going to be some like little janky paddle. This is going to be like something special.
You know, I have been going through stuff in the tiny shop. And today I found a piece of wood tucked way back in the corner on the top shelf. And I pulled it down and it looked like a piece of firewood.
Yeah, you just had it like set off to the side.
Literally looked like a piece of firewood. And I was like, well, okay, here's one for the burn pile. I don't know why I had that up there. And I had some things moved outside, and I took it outside, and I set it down, and I noticed something. And I looked at it a little closer, brushed the dust off of it, and I noticed a bird's eye in it.
If you don't know wood like me, that doesn't mean anything, but it is a beautiful piece of wood.
It's from maple. So I kind of started looking at it a little closer, and I was like, I can't let this go.
Said every woodworker ever.
and I set it to the side, and when I was done working in the tiny shop, I carried it out to the garage with me, and I took it to the jointer and started joining it down to get it one level. And so it was, I mean, this was like gouge. This was literally like somebody had taken an axe to this piece of wood.
Oh, wow.
And split it. So I'm working on the joiner to try and get one side flat. And as I'm joining it, I flip it up and look. This wood is just full of bird's eyes. And that's something that you find in certain maples. They're little eyes, and they're called bird's eyes.
Do you have the piece of wood?
Yeah, I do, and I'll show it in a second. And as once I got it level, I took it to the planer and ran it through the planer to get the other side, and started seeing more bird's eye, but also started seeing tiger stripe in the wood, and that had me even more excited. So, you know, there were some bad knots on one end, so I did have to cut it down and lose some of it that way, and then took it to the table saw and cut it flush and got a beautiful piece of wood.
And now you're going to show it to everybody.
Now I'm going to show it.
You okay? Okay. So I'll try to narrate since you're not near a microphone. And yeah, I'll try and get my head. I'm trying to move my head out of the way.
There.
That is the piece of wood. So you are planning on making what will literally be a one-of-a-kind paddle that you're not going to reproduce. So most of what we make, we try to make something we can reproduce for however many people want it. This will not be that. This will be a special one-off design.
The little bird's eyes I'm talking about. And there's some of the tiger striping coming through on both sides.
That's some of the tiger striping coming through on both sides. Sorry, I zoned out. I was letting you hold court, but you know what?
Narrator, you are. So, yeah, this.
Oh God, I am not allowed to be the assistant for that. Okay, we got a few things that came through. So,
okay.
Oh, and Mr. Spock said something about the piece of wood. So hold on, let me get through it. So
Okay.
Mr. Spock's another question, and you're right. Way back when, in the early days of the Kinkery, there was some conversation about a Kalilord scale of thuddy versus stingy for the weapons of mass destruction. I had forgotten that completely until I just read that to myself. I'll put it on my list. The format will probably be I don't know how I'll make it look, but yes, and I'll probably put tons of caveats of this is how I personally experience these items, that kind of thing, because everybody's different. Thank you for that reminder. And then Mr. Spock said, is that your beautiful piece of wood something that might be in, Are you talking about the... No, you're not talking about that. You're talking about the thing. Is that something in the cards for 2023? I think there's a lot of folks here who could use it. It'd be awesome for merchandising more. So, no, not about the wood. About the thing. Sorry, I'm tired. And the caffeine is worn off. If I can figure out how to make it look like what format I would have, then yeah, it could be a 2023 thing. Because I could probably, within an afternoon, figure out based on everything we sell what that scale would be, because I know how they feel to me. So oh, Silent Wing, do we really want to keep adding technological things? Yes, he needs a clip-on mic. Actually, I'd love for us both to have clip-on mics and do away with this, because then we'd have more space. But then, knowing me and how I move, you'd hear
oh God,
and then that would drive people nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, a one-off special. And I even asked him, I'm like, so this special paddle with the special wood that nobody heard about but you all got to see, I was like, that would not be our typical pricing either. And he's like, nope. This is one of a fucking kind. I'm like, okay. So yeah, the scale thing, I once I can get it in my head how it would look. So what I would love is to have an overall scale, like that's just a page on the Kinkery's website where you just go and be like, I'm looking for sting at X level, right? That would be one thing. But then I'd love to have something that I could add to each product item that is impact to be able to, like, at a glance. And that's the thing I don't know how.
The Kayla Yelp.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. Everything we make, except for technically 2, but really 1, everything we make that can be used for impact is in our toy bag and something that I will even begrudgingly allow to be used on me. Except for the evil stick and the diabolical stick.
Yeah.
Like, I'll demo those and I want to know how they feel so that I can then describe it to others. But that's not coming out in a scene, okay? Although I did kind of have it in my head that for, like, that whole OnlyFans thing, I mean, I've always said I'll do some sketchy shit for money. And I feel like letting myself get hit with a toy that I fucking hate might be one of them.
Actually, Silent Wing, more than squeals, it would be more like a decibel level.
I know, but the worse it feels, actually, the squeakier I get. So then only dogs can hear me. So,
all right. Take care, Kim. Good night, and I hope your headache goes away.
Yeah, migraines are no fucking joke.
Nope.
They fucking suck. So, if I promise to try to remember to promise to narrate for you, would you like to show our newest product?
Yes.
It's called a thick stick.
Thick stick. And I did kind of
You did?
Yeah.
You did.
So we launched them today officially. They're on the site.
No, they were on the site yesterday. We launched them Thursday. Oh. Social media promoted them today.
Okay.
Because newsletter people get
I
first
just make
dibs.
the shit.
I know. That's why you need me. Job security. Ow.
There you go.
I was thinking like the POW kind of like that explosion symbol, Silent, but you know, I don't think we need more of my head. Anyway, go ahead, thick sticks. Okay.
Are you actually gonna?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try not to zone out while you're talking. Probably shouldn't admit that. Oh yeah, that is a thick stick. It is a total of 18 inches long. The paddle, air quote that, 'cause it's not a standard paddle, is 13 inches long, 1 inch wide, half an inch thick. The edges have not been rounded. They are sharp. The handle is laminated, which just means it's like a wooden sandwich. And that's to create a thicker grip for the person holding it so they're more comfortable, because that's who we fucking care about being comfortable. These do make crazy marks. JB still has welts on his forearm where he just did a test while we were filming a video. Can you try and show that?
You have to come around. It's on my left hand.
Yeah. Do I need to get my head out of the way so that can focus?
I think they can.
Yeah, that's from, we filmed that video at 10 a.m.-ish, 12 hours. Yes, I mean, it's like a paddle and a cane had an evil little baby. So I don't know if this is a, hold on, let me say it slowly, a rural thing, or I don't think it's a southern thing specifically. I think it's like a rural thing. But I'm one of them, and I know many people who have relatives or who had this experience themselves of you got in trouble, corporal punishment, go out and get the switch off the tree or off the whatever that I'm about to beat your ass with, kid who fucked up, and it better not be too thin or you'll, blah, blah, blah. This is what that reminds us of. It's like those old country things of having to go get your own fucking switch to get your ass beat. It is stingy. It is so stingy. It is so stingy. It is so stingy. And those fucking edges. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, yeah, that's the thick stick. We do have it classified under paddles because, I mean, technically it's because a cane is usually a cylindrical sort of deal. This does have a flat surface.
And a cane has flex. This does not have flex like a cane.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. It's very stingy. Very, very stingy.
Oh, yeah.
And then because it's long and narrow, to help all my sadist friends out there, you're getting into the hard to reach spots. You're getting into inner thighs. You're getting into genitals. You're getting all the places that a paddle does not necessarily easily get into. Somebody commented on, I think it was on Instagram, that they've seen something like it and their partner called it a dick stick.
Oh gosh.
And I went, yeah, it's a fucking dick. It's right asshole kind of. It's a motherfucker. So Silent Wing, I believe you're just being evil now. So yeah, that's the thick stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been selling. We had several orders come through this evening that I boxed up, and then several more came through when I finally went. It's wood types, but the most common, the one we have the most of is black walnut.
Black walnut, yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I somehow feel like eventually that will make it onto the OnlyFans page as well. So, oh no, I see.
We're
stuttering. Oh fucking hell! We've been having internet problems.
Yep, it's been acting wonky tonight.
Evil people would like another demo.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You're coming over here. Is that what you're telling me?
I am.
Oh, we got the yellow. Yeah, our internet connection is stuttering. Yeah. Oh, we're down in the red. You had said you thought our internet was acting a fool. Fucking hell. Fucking hate our internet.
Yep.
We're supposed to change our internet. Hopefully the volume is still, the audio volume, fucking hell. The audio is still doing okay, but not even necessarily because it's all internet. Go ahead, are you hitting me?
Stand up.
Oh, God, okay. Let me not put my bare ass on YouTube. Now, remember, we're both going to be away from a microphone. Okay.
No, you're going to turn around.
I knew that, fucking hell. I should be used to this by now. Why do you hate me? Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, that's good. We're good. That was good. Hopefully the internet didn't crap out in the middle of that. Oh. And I think I saw somebody ask, Donna asked how long are the live stream. This one, we usually try to run until midnight Eastern time zone, which is about another hour. Hopefully our internet will hold and that can be accurate. We shall see. Yeah, the things I do for us to make sales.
Took one for the team.
Yeah.
Good girl.
That's a lot for today. You beat my ass so bad this morning. Oh my God, the video's less than 10 minutes. From start to finish, it's less than 10 minutes. Oh gosh, I was editing and I was scrolling through the video, and when you scroll through the frames, it's kind of like being in slow motion. And it's a big old booty. I don't know if you've noticed. And there were a couple times, like, I don't know, it would be with your hand and the paddle. And it was like my ass was jello and just went back and forth. Like in slow-mo. And I was like, I'm a little horrified, but I'm really fascinated. Like, holy shit. So, Mr. Speck, if we sell out of the fucking things, it'll be so fucking good. That is a sensation that is not on my, oh my God, that hurts. That's great. Let's do it again. It's on my, oh my God, that hurts. Please be gentle. Please be gentle. Oh God. So, X, you stop that. You stop that right now. X is trying to cause problems.
He's trying to be helpful.
Nope. Problem causer.
Trying to be helpful.
Nope. So I guess we need to finally get on the fucking stick about the internet thing.
Yeah.
I think it's official. We're gonna change over. I think we talked about it in one of the many places we talked about things, and now I don't remember where. But
yeah.
Path Girl, cool. So,
should I show them the new knife I'm tinkering with too?
If you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. New knife style coming for our wooden knives on the King Creek. Not available yet. He does not have enough to list. We don't list just a handful of shit. If we ain't got a couple dozen, we're not putting it out. Okay. Do I need to get my head out of the way? You're going to have to give me the words because I don't know what to say about that knife. It's a wooden knife. That's all I got.
It's a little different. It's more of a curved. Curved blade. A little shorter. Wider blade. And
you designed that specifically with wax play in mind, yeah?
These are going to be something that, because Kayla wants to do the kits.
I want to do bundles and kits for wax play with our candles. So Silent Wing literally just hit enter on her comment of, have you ever considered a wax and knife bundle? Yes, Silent Wing, we have. He's got to make me some fucking knives, and I got to get more materials to make more candles. Candles are going faster than we anticipated, and the materials that we have to purchase to make them, one thing ran out, so I'm kind of working around that. And then it's not cheap to buy those things in the quantity that you want to buy them in, and so we're working on it.
Yeah. And that's what that knife is going to be specifically for. That's going to be only available with the bundles.
Yeah. So I think what we're going to have to do is make another scary investment in materials. And I'm just going to have to go on a candle making quest. No, X, it's not a bad problem to have. We are at a weird position between personal finances, business finances, that sales have gone up, which is wonderful. In this fucking economy, it's wonderful. But because of what has driven our sales up, we're spending more on materials and inventory than we usually do. And so it's not quite balanced out, especially as prices have continued to go up for us. And so it's like I'd like to buy, at this point, a few hundred, enough to make probably a couple hundred candles again, or right. More than that, because the first 200 I made sold the fuck out. But we've got to put the investment in at the same time we got to pay the mortgage. So it's like we got to balance that.
Walking a bit of a tightrope.
Yeah. It's,
okay.
We like to live on the edge.
I'm gonna leave y'all alone for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. Are you coming back with food?
No.
I don't really need food. I'm actually just thirsty.
Coming back with me.
That's all the things I need is you. Yeah, X, it's that, like, and then there's that balance between you got to price stuff so you make a profit on it, but you also don't want to overprice and then nobody buys. So what the, like, it's this weird, the balance, profit margins. Mr. Spock, I have not yet, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to do white undyed candles and a pink at the same time, and I don't have enough supplies to do both, and so I've been doing this back and forth in my head of, do I want to put out the pink candle or the white candle first? I think the white candle would be best, because then that's for anybody that might have allergies or doesn't want dye or whatever, or just wants white. And that's super easy to make, because then I'm not using any dye. But I also don't know if I have enough materials to make enough for the potential, like, sales that'll come through, because I don't like to say something's available for sale and then there'll only be like 2 of them. So I know, Beth Girl, I am unsupervised now and I'm feeling boring and tired, so nothing will happen. I do think that sometimes my acting out is because I know deep down somewhere, even when he's not smiling, it amuses JB. And I live to amuse JB. So, and yes, X math is hard. Can I just do the business without having to worry about the numbers? Like, could we just do it that way? We can't do it that way, but it would be nice. So, but, yeah. Like, box prices went up and we had more orders than I planned for, so I had to buy boxes, and that has to be factored into postage. Postage went up. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, but I just want to make cute things and sell cute things. Why do I have to think about the math? But yeah, and then there's that whole thing of, like, you need to invest in your business so the business can grow, and that is true, but you also need to be able to pay your bills. When we got our new payment processor in October, if anybody remembers that kerfuffle that made the hair that is growing in now grayer than it was, we pay slightly higher fees than we did before, and also as sales go up, the money you pay for your payment processor fees goes up because you're making more sales. So I'm like getting these bills and these statements, or it's like, oh, we deducted X number of dollars from your account because you had all these transactions. I was like, oh my God. Okay. This is fine. This is growing pains. They're real. But I'm over here trying to build a kinky fucking empire. And this is just what we got to do. So, Little Miss asked, do we have any fun plans for Valentine's Day? Probably not. We like Christmas, we decided for Valentine's Day we're not going to worry about exchanging gifts. We did talk about going out on a date night, which we have not had in ages. And there's this really nice restaurant that's sort of high-end, not so high-end you gotta take out a second mortgage to eat there, but high-end enough that it's probably a good idea to make reservations, because when they're busy, they're really busy. And we don't go out to eat on Valentine's. Like, no, we're not doing that. Even JB, who likes to be among the people, doesn't want to do that. So if we do it, it'll either be like the day before, the day after, or like the weekend before, the weekend after. I think we're still gonna do that. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to like have a real date night where I'm like all dressed cute and everything. I do miss that. I have not dressed cute in a very long time. Partly because I do not own clothes that fit me that I feel cute in. Like, I have clothes that are comfy. I have clothes I can work in. I have clothes I can go to the grocery store in. But I grew out of all my, like, super cute clothes and have not shrunk back down into them or purchased anything else. So, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, if we get to go to that restaurant, it's a really good restaurant. They're like, it's like top tier service. We went for a birthday lunch over the summer with my aunt and uncle. And we did not tell them we were there to celebrate. Like, it was not my aunt's birthday that day. We were like about a week late or whatever on her birthday. I did bring her present and we talked about it being, you know, a birthday celebration, but we never said anything. And when she ordered dessert for lunch in the kitchen, whether it was the server or whoever plates the dessert, they had actually like taken the syrup and like written out happy birthday on her plate and were very low key about it. Like, they didn't make a big deal out of it, but they acknowledged that they had been paying attention when we were seated and served, and it was fucking amazing. Talk about the braised onion, where we might go for Valentine's celebration.
Yeah.
So yeah, off peak day. That was, thank you. That's what I was trying to say, X. Yeah. No, I'm not going. I mean,
not going the day of, no.
Was it the first? No, it was 2021 of the Rona, and we thought we'll just go pick up because we weren't eating in restaurants yet.
Yeah.
And just picking it up was hellacious. And we were like, oh, this is why we never do anything on the actual Valentine's Day. Oh, thanks, little miss. Yeah, I don't know what my style of dress is. I know what my work's like. I'm just bumming around. I know that I want comfort over anything. But like, when I think about fashion and what I want to wear that I think looks good on me and I feel good in, I have no clue what that is. And I'm at this weird in-between stage where, I mean, I could, if I wanted to, I could shop at a Forever 21. You can shop any store you want at any age. But like, the Forever 21 vibe doesn't feel like me. But when I go to a department store, that doesn't feel like me either. I don't work in an office, so like the Lane Bryant thing doesn't feel like me anymore. Old Navy kind of feels like me, but not the stuff that is their cute stuff. Their leggings and t-shirts are me. So I want a personal style, and I don't know what that would be. Like, I have a personal style.
What that would look like.
I'm existing in clothes right now, but like, I want something that I consider stylish, but when you never go anywhere and you just want to work braless and in your fuzzy socks, like, I only really need a couple of outfits, quite frankly. So, oh yeah, we do date night dinners at home sometimes too. We'll cook a steak, or we'll just cook some, like, I think we've done salmon before, like the nice cuts, you know, not our frozen salmon fillets we get in the big bulk bag. That's an everyday meal, but like, we'll get like an actual like fillet of something and cook it, and yeah. And it's funny, I really enjoy the date night at home thing because we feed the kids before us.
Throw chicken nuggets at them.
Right, they get whatever they're willing to eat. Sometimes I think we did pizza one time.
Yeah.
And then when they're done and scattered to the four winds doing their thing, then yeah, we got to cook it, and yeah, we got to clean up from it. But then we start cooking, like, and it's exactly what we want, and it doesn't matter what other people's preferences are.
Right.
So I'm cooking like Brussels sprouts or asparagus or something, and it's a steak, and we like, and there's no like, oh, I don't eat that. You don't have to. This is not for you. It is delightful. It is delightful. Oh God, yeah, X.
Absolutely.
We have not been. This is a smart decision. We have not been eating out at the rate we were. For multiple reasons, but part of it is, Jesus Christ, how expensive it's gotten. So, but we're not buying steaks either because they're cheaper than the restaurant, but they're still more expensive than they used to be. So it's like,
yep, little miss, that's about it. Throw chicken. They catch it, they can eat it.
Actually, they've started turning their nose up at chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they did.
And they don't like frozen pizza. So I'm like, look, you can make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, okay? But that's okay. Oh, now I want a steak dinner. And what we often do is we'll buy like a big cut of meat that'll be like not inexpensive, but it's a single steak, and then we cut it in half and share it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would eat the whole fucking piece of steak myself, but you give me enough roasted vegetables as a side, I'm good. I'm good. Now I want steak though. Oh my god, my mouth's watering.
You know what I want? You were talking about them the other night. Roasted beets. Haven't had those in a long time.
Roasted beets with goat cheese on them.
Yeah.
That's so good. I think I can eat nearly any vegetable as long as I can roast it. There are vegetables you were like, I hate those vegetables, suck, and I'm like, you haven't had them the way I make them because I roast everything I get my hand. Now I air fry them too, but and you now like Brussels sprouts and asparagus and sweet potatoes.
Oh, I've always liked asparagus.
Did you? Oh, okay. Yeah. But either way.
Yeah, roasted, I'll eat Brussels sprouts all day long.
Especially when the little outer leaves get all crispy.
You get that crisp to them?
Oh my god, yeah. My mouth is watering. I'm hungry. It's 11:12 at night. I don't need food. Amora, I do not like goat cheese on its own. I kind of tolerate it in things like an omelet or something, but when it's heated up and on roasted vegetables, to me it becomes a little bit milder. To me, goat cheese has like a, I don't want to say sour like a vinegar taste, but it's got a sharp
taste to it.
Sharp flavor. It's to me it's a bit strong. I don't eat just goat cheese plain. Oh, can't do it. And like I said, in an omelet, it's a little goes a long way, but when you put it on roasted vegetables and finish off your roasted vegetables with goat cheese and let it get warm and oh, it's very good. Okay, let's see. Jerica says, I'm having a first date since the whole ordeal with my ex. I'm nervous and excited. My friend set us up. He's not really my type. He's more submissive than dominant, but I'm keeping an open mind. I don't know if there's a question there, if that's coming, but yay. I think the keeping an open mind thing is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea because you never know. It might not work, but it might work. And if it doesn't work, maybe you have like a friend, maybe you've made a friend and somebody you can chat with. And feta on anything is amazing. I made like a salady kind of thing and covered in fucking feta today.
Now, I've never had feta on pizza. But the first time I had goat cheese
it was on
pizza.
I tried to get feta on the pizza we had tonight. Not tonight I did, but another time I ordered it. And there was like $1 upcharge. I went, no, I'll just add my own fucking feta. I got blocks of it. Dustin said, do we have a wild fork near us? It's all frozen and the quality is shockingly good for the price. That sounds familiar, but I don't think we have one near us. But I know I've heard of it before. Wild fork.
I've not heard of it.
No, but we definitely don't have one.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, we had some salad greens that I didn't want to go bad, and we had like part of a tomato that I didn't want to go bad. So I put all that in a bowl, and then I air fried some, my last sweet potato that I didn't want to go bad, and I cut up an avocado that I didn't want to go bad. Oh Lord. And then I topped all of it with feta, and I put some like olive oil and a little balsamic vinegar on it. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. So good. I keep seeing the reels on Instagram where they do fun things with brie and then it's all melty and they turn, and I'm like, I need to do that.
Oh, brie is delicious.
I like brie, but we just don't eat it, and I've not done any of the like put it in this thing and smear it with that and then make it hot and we don't. I would do some charcuterie boards if it featured melty cheeses and crackers, like good crackers. So.
I'll have to look at that up and see. I've not heard of it.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know where I've heard of it before. I watched a vlog from somebody who travels, like, they're based out of the UK, but they tend to travel all over Europe, and they went to some like open air markets where like there were tons of food things. I was like, I know I'm not going to any country outside of this one for a very long time. But when I do, I want to go to a place where there's all the foods. No, I don't like the rind either, X of Brie, but I like the ooey gooey center.
Yeah.
You'll find me scraping around that rind, just eating the center out. I saw a recipe. It was honey, and there was a spice element to it. I don't know if it was like a chili oil or something, and a roasted garlic and the brie, and it looked delicious. Oh yeah, feta and spinach stuffed cheese bread. Yep. Feta and spinach is an excellent pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Put that with bread. Always good. Always good. I'm starving. Oh my God, I'm not hungry. I actually overate at dinner and ate way too many pieces of pizza. But I'm so hungry now. Yeah, the first couple times I got to go to a Whole Foods market, they've got the cheese areas, and they were doing the samples, and it was like the stinky cheeses, the strong cheeses, and I was like, maybe I'm not a cheese person like I thought I was. And there were a couple. I'm a grown ass woman. I was not like a teenager at Whole Foods. I was in my 30s, and we had gotten a Whole Foods in our area. It was so exciting, and I take the sample of, I don't even know what cheese it was, but it was one of the stinky ones, and I pop it in my mouth, and for like 3.4 seconds, I almost forgot that I was a grown-ass woman who was not just going to spit her food out on the floor like I was a toddler. Because I went, and then I picked up a napkin, and I walked around a corner, and I went, and I pulled that out of my fucking mouth. I was like, nope, I am not a stinky cheese girl. I'm sure there are some stinky cheeses that were probably great, but that's how I discovered I don't like goat cheese plain either. It was one of the good goat cheeses, and I was like, I don't know, it tastes spoiled to me. Get that off my tongue. Look, I'm a delight. I actually am not the person who goes into the Sam's Club or the Whole Foods or wherever looking for samples. I am actively trying to avoid the sample person, because the sample person's like a drug pusher or a cell phone seller. Okay, they're like, do you want one, you want one, and they're like practically chasing you down the fucking aisle. I'm like, I was here not making eye contact. Okay, I didn't talk to you, I didn't look at you. Take your samples and go away from me. Why are you chasing me through the grocery store? So yeah, Solomon, I agree. And I've heard the trick of, okay, like, don't inhale, like breathe out so you're not smelling it at the same time. Nope. Oh, feta. I know. I could be tempted to just crumble the feta right into my mouth. Like, I don't know why I didn't just add feta to our pizza. It was a serious upcharge. I was like, this is supposed to be a $6.99 pizza. What do you mean it's like $9? It was just some feta. I'm not asking for the block of feta.
You feta, you bet.
Yeah, the only people worse, I think, than the AT&T guy at Sam's Club. He is aggressive.
Oh, man.
And the sample folks who are determined you're going to try one of their samples, right? The only people worse are the kiosk people in a mall. Like, shopping malls still kind of vaguely exist, and the kiosk people in the center,
especially around the holidays.
Oh my God, they're chasing you down, and it's a don't make eye contact.
I don't know. I take a certain sadistic glee in
because you're not
telling the guy at Sam's Club, the AT&T guy, like, no, not interested.
I know. I do the no, thank you, but I don't make eye contact, and I'm still polite, and I go, no, thank you, and I'm like looking anywhere else but at the person. Do not make eye contact. And look, I get it. Their job sucks. It's probably commission based. Yeah. That's why they're so fucking aggressive. They got to make the sale. They got to hustle. They got to eat. Like, I get it, but I am not the fucking one. You are your best bet. to get me to buy something from you is to leave me the fuck alone until I decide I want to buy it from you. The person who gets my money is the person who didn't fucking bother me, and I could come to you when I was ready. Like, nope. Oh God, X, that would drive me crazy. Like, no. Nope. Yeah. And this is where you go into the rant of, God, we live in a society where people have to be aggressive and like scary to make a sale because they're working off commission, because we can't just fucking pay people livable wages. Like,
yeah. That's like the guy this afternoon when I came home from picking up the youngest. He was.
Oh yeah, we had somebody walking through the neighborhood,
going through the neighborhood, selling stuff, and I had no problem looking right in the eye. No, not interested. Goodbye.
See what? And I don't. Did he knock on the door or ring the doorbell?
Oh no,
he was out.
He was coming up the driveway. Was getting out of the car.
Oh, okay. Because see, what happens is if the doorbell rings or there's a knock on the door and it's not a lovely delivery person leaving me one of my parcels, or somebody I'm expecting, I don't care if all the lights are on, the windows are open, and you can hear us. I'm going to act like we're not home. I'm not answering that door. It's like a phone. I'm under no obligation to answer it. There's no rule that says just because you knocked,
what if
I
it
have
was
to open the door.
Publishers Clearinghouse bringing you the big check?
I would see the fucking balloons in their damn minivan that they drive. This is not a road you can ride up and hide from any damn body. Because I am also the person who's definitely standing at her front window, pulling the drapes just enough so I can get one eye out watching what's happening. I am definitely that person. Not often. I'm usually a little too busy for that. But when I'm not busy and there's activity... But no. You knock on my door, ring my doorbell, and I don't know who you are, and I'm just not expecting you. It's like nobody lives there.
Although it is getting a little hectic with the door-to-door salesman around here lately, and definitely going to get a no soliciting sign for the yard.
They're going to ignore it. Yeah. You say that every time somebody comes up, and then it's a while before somebody comes up and we don't get the sign.
And then I go to Lowe's, and it's not on my mind, and I forget until the next time somebody shows up.
Yep. Okay, question. You previously talked about how much the children are suspecting. I wonder if you have plans on how to deal with the situation if your channel is exposed to them in any way. So at this point, there's no way they don't know what the name is. They live in this house, and this place where we're recording, there's a window just to the left of JB that leads to the kitchen, and they're often in the kitchen while we're recording. I don't know how purposeful that is, but there we are. So I'm pretty sure they have an idea. They sure as shit see the products that we sell, and God knows a 17-year-old loves to look at a computer screen that he does not need to be looking at. So my thought is, if they ever actually see the YouTube channel, if they haven't already, hopefully not, or hear a podcast or see an Instagram reel or whatever, we're open enough as a family that they might not immediately come tell me, but I'm going to find out. Something's going to be said. And I think the only thing that would kind of maybe potentially bother them is if they heard like a very deeply personal sexual like escapade kind of part of the conversation. But even then I don't think so, because we're the type of family tonight at dinner. Jokes were being cracked about people's balls, okay? We make clit jokes at the table because while I'm not going to like pull out a diagram and like with a pointer go, here it is, I'm sure as shit going to make sure that these kids know that thing fucking exists, right? That it's like, real, yeah. We're so not the stereotypical repressed family that I think I have a feeling that if they came across it and saw something, I would probably get a very weary, exhausted, sarcastic kid going, "Ugh, I fucking found your sex channel, Mom." Like, I feel like that would eventually be the conversation. I really feel like the worst fallout would be if their friends teased them, but we've actually already had that happen, because when the oldest was a few years younger, like 13 or so, and in middle school, so grades 6 through 8 here in the U.S., a friend, put an air quote on that word because this kid was a little shithead, found our Instagram. And so I then had to go find him in Instagram and block his ass. And that was the first time the now 17-year-old, first time, I think the only time, he was like, why do you have to do this? Because that's embarrassing, Mom. So on some level, the exposure is already there. I think they would probably just sort of roll with it if they actually saw it. Unless, again, they heard or saw something that they decide is mortifying and embarrassing. But we're open enough as a family, I think they would come talk to us. Even if it took them a hot minute. I think they'd still come talk to us.
And we don't try to be openly blatant about it.
No, we don't. We're not as we're not trying to hide every little thing anymore that we did when they were much younger.
Right. When they were younger, it was different.
And we do try to hide certain things, like the OnlyFans stuff we're doing when there's no kid around. We're purposely doing it that way to keep them out of that side of things.
So,
yeah.
But, we do. We're very open and, talk to them. Even my parents growing up, never talked to me about anything. And I want to make sure they go out into the world and have an understanding of what it's is to be a good person.
And to have an acceptance of things. Like, I've had the my kink isn't your kink conversation without ever using the word kink. Like, the understanding with the kids is people are going to be into stuff and you're not going to understand it, and that's okay. You don't have to understand it, but you're also not going to be an asshole when somebody's into something you're not into. But we do it in a very, our love language is snark in this family. The 13-year-old loves to he's at this age and the medications are all working really well. So we'll be riding down the road and he'll go, penis. And I'm like, sometimes I come back with something and sometimes I go, what? Or he'll go, "These nuts," and it's all, or he'll go, "Your mom." I'm like, you know whose mom you're talking about, right? And he's like, "Well, not you." I said, "Your mom." I'm like, "Your grandma?" And then he's like, "What?" But I don't reprimand them for stuff. I roll with it to the best of my ability. Pre-coffee, I'm usually confused. I don't know why we're chanting penis in the car. And the 17-year-old likes to fake that he doesn't think the clit's real. It's a myth, right? And I'm like, and he gets me riled up because I'm terrified of sending him out into the world thinking that. And I'm like, wait. And he's like, "Mama, I know. I've found one many times now." I'm like, la, la, la. And I am actually more prone to go, look, cover it up, be as safe as possible to be. But also, I don't want that image in my head. I'm good. That's how open we are. So, and we couldn't hide this inventory that's off to JB's left. Might be right from your vantage point. I don't know, but when I'm looking at it, it's stage left, okay?
On the other side of the room.
We could not hide this inventory at this point if we wanted to. So, and I think I kind of just sort of settled in the first time I realized that not only could they hear from that kitchen window, they were standing there getting a very long drink of water. I was like, oh, okay. So... yeah. So, yeah. Jerica asks, what are some punishment ideas you have or have used in the past? Corner time. I fucking hate that. It's because I don't like to be out of the action. I don't like to have my back to a room. I don't like to not be involved in whatever's going on. I don't like to feel like I'm being ignored. I don't like to have to stand still and be quiet unless I want to.
Writing lines. Yeah.
Yeah. We've done that one.
Kneeling on sandpaper.
Yeah, I mean, it all sucks, and for us, the point of punishment is to deter certain behaviors, so they work. I was once not threatened as in this is gonna happen to you tomorrow, but as this could be a future one. The punish with my former dom was to have to eat an actual hot chili pepper.
Ooh. Because
I don't like spice. It was like, I'm a nope out of that one. And he was like, "Oh, are you?" And it was this little back and forth, whatever. So for us, it's whatever you can come up with that does not cause actual permanent harm or damage.
Right.
Physical, mental, emotional. But that is something you don't want to actively have happen. So it's a deterrent. And that works. Yes, they have absolutely seen Sir Richard of Aubergine. The 17-year-old thought it was amazing. Was
yeah,
like,
he thought it was the most wonderful thing in the world.
right. The 13-year-old just rolled his eyes and went, really? Why do you have a giant purple penis? I'm like, because why not? Shouldn't everybody have a giant purple penis? And I caught him in that teenage angst moment of, oh, fucking hell. Like, my mom is so embarrassing. So, yeah. So, yeah, they have definitely seen it. The glitter peni.
Yeah.
I think that's what opened the 13-year-old up to be like, say the word penis and kind of be okay with those kinds of conversations, because everywhere he went in the house after we got our bag of gummy dicks and penis confetti bombed, everywhere he went, he was like, yeah, Mom, here's another penis. Here's another. At first he was annoyed, and then it became funny. And so, yeah. I agree.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And kids, I think, can handle more information than we give them credit for. Like, it needs to be age appropriate to who they are, right, and their understanding of the world. But the more you hide from your kids are not stupid. The more you hide from your kids, the more they know something's being hidden from them. And they're going to make up the story in their head of why that might be. And it's going to be wrong every time, because there are kids that don't have enough wisdom and experience to know why that might be. So for years I thought I'm a shit parent because I was open and honest, and I didn't do parenting the way, and
no, not at all. I mean, I found out stuff on the streets, basically, from this one and that one. And
sure. I mean, the 17-year-old, actually, I just found out the 13-year-old is too. So in the show Sex Education, I can't remember the character's name, but he's the main character, and his mom's a sex therapist, and he basically is teaching his classmates sex education. Eric is the bestie.
That's right.
I can't think of that kid's name. I can see his face. Anyway, both kids are becoming that for their friend group. So the 17-year-old is definitely like that. Like, he'll hear some bullshit from his friends about what they think sex is about. And he's like, that is factually wrong. Let me tell you what's right. Apparently, I just had this conversation with a 13-year-old the other day. That is starting with his friend group as well.
Oh, gosh.
They'll say some, off-the-wall fucking shit about sex. And he's like, no, my mom taught me about that. That's wrong. Let me tell you what is right. And I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Christina asked what we would consider passionate sex.
Primal.
Yeah, when we go primal, that feels pretty passionate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, anything that kind of... If I end up a hot, sweaty mess at the end, it probably felt pretty passionate.
Yeah.
I mean, because we are very comfortable when we were having regular sex. We were very comfortable with, sleepy, comfy sex and cozy sex and, don't even have to open your eyes kind of sex. That's a nice kind of sex to have, by the way. I'm just passionate sex. I'm gonna need a nap after that and a snack, probably in that order. Right. But yeah, when we get kind of primal and it's teeth gnashing, hair pulling,
scratching.
Air quote this word because it's not real, but fighting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's probably the passionate. So.
Yep. Excuse me.
Yeah, X. I agree completely. When they were born and I was starting to sort of read more and learn more about just the state of the world for teenagers and kids in general and whatever, I walked away from that knowledge I was gaining from these books and the stuff I was reading, and I was like, I don't want to raise little assholes. Mm-hmm. I don't want to raise little assholes. And, as they got older and stories like the Brock Turner story, and that's all I will say about that. So hopefully, no trigger warnings are needed or anything, but that kind of story, I'm like, that's who I'm trying desperately not to raise. And I tried to be the strict parent, the authoritarian type of parent that I've been raised by, and thank God the oldest fucking rebelled against that as a toddler. He was not fucking having it. And when it wasn't working and we were both miserable, I went, this doesn't work and we're both miserable. There has to be another way. And I've had to fight back against older family members, JB before he kind of saw it in action for himself, that no, treating them like autonomous little people that are going to have their own thoughts and feelings and motivations, and working with that and working with who they are and not who I think they should be is going to yield better results. Yeah. So it's called gentle parenting now, and I was accidentally doing it 17 years ago, like really 13 years ago. Okay.
Otis,
thank you.
Otis,
they're the Otises of their friend group. And that's just, it's not always been easy, but to me, it's actually been easier. I had more mom guilt over the fact that I was like, I'm stressed about things, but raising these kids ain't one of them. Right. And it was because even at the hardest times, like those middle school years with the oldest, I didn't know if we were all going to survive that one. That was a tough time. But the people that they're growing into are amazing people.
Yeah.
And that's them. Like, all I did was not stand in their fucking way, right? Give them information, treat them like autonomous human beings, and correct them when they needed correcting. Like, I'm not a permissive parent, but man, I'm a pick your battles parent too. Fuck yeah. Like, is this worth the fight? It doesn't feel like it's worth the fight. I mean,
okay. even sometimes, I mean, like the other night when we were eating and I'm just grinding cheese onto my pasta, and the youngest, he looks at me and he's like, oh, you know, he's very particular about what cheese he eats, how he eats it. And I just looked at him and was like, your cheese is not my cheese, but my cheese is okay.
You know, it's funny though. You used to, that was a battle I was not going to fight. And I have some weird insight as to why I was not fighting the food battle. I just went, I do not have a good relationship with food. And I remember how I was raised with food. And so when I was a single parent and there was limited time and limited energy, I went, guess what food battle I'm not fighting? The food battle. You were still old school, and you were like, I'm ready to fight this food battle.
And I, at the same time, had no understanding of what...
The neurodivergency and,
correct.
And diagnoses, yeah.
Correct.
And understanding that it was a sensitivity and it was a sensory thing, and he's not going to change that. He's any evolution he goes through is going to be on his own time. Yeah. And it's weird. By sheer fucking dumb luck, I parented kids with neurodivergency without knowing we didn't know the 13-year-old was on the spectrum. We didn't know both kids had ADHD. Like, we didn't know, but it was like by treating them as the individual they were and not what I expected them to be. Imperfect, and we're better now because we know more because of the diagnoses. You know, it was like I could just let them be who they were, and it fucking worked. And now they still get pissed off at us. They don't like some of our rules. They don't like how we handle things sometimes. They think that we are stupid and they know more than we do. And
get the eye rolls.
That is still true. However, so, but yeah. Little Miss asks, my husband and I are planning to adopt in the future. That is really cool. We're very open at any age, 0 to 17. Just curious if you have a favorite age / most challenging age to raise while keeping your dynamics. So weirdly, the easiest age is when they're like a few weeks old, because at that point they're a lump that's gonna sleep. Yeah, they're gonna cry, but they're gonna sleep, and they go where you make them go because you pick them up. The toddler years are challenging. The middle school years are challenging.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly because these are big transition times in their lives, and so everything is crazy. I am enjoying the older teen years. I really am. I enjoyed the older elementary school age. So like the 4th and 5th grade, like the 9 and 10. Eights are another version of 3. We called them the I hate 8s because both kids and other kids I met that at that age, their favorite thing to say was, I hate that. Whatever it was, like if they did not like something, they hated it, and they hated everything. And so we got joking like, oh yeah, the I hate 8s. But each age
has its own unique little...
Yeah, it has its own challenges. It has its own benefits. I did not understand the beauty of the newborn, even a crying colicky one, because the second one was colicky. I did not understand the beauty of them, like, you just being able to pick them up like the football that they were, and wherever you set them, they stayed there. Like, that doesn't last very long, but it's delightful. Yeah. The worries just change as they get older. So when they were babies, I was like worried, could I keep them alive? When they were toddlers, I was worried that I was spoiling them or I wasn't doing right with them. When the worry, and now I got a 17-year-old and I just worry he's in a fucking car and anything could happen. And is like, am I going to get a call from somebody in the middle of the night?
Every age has its challenges, but every age has its joys.
The middle school years still fucking suck. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But so far, knock on wood, this second round of middle school years with the 13-year-old are easier than with his brother, but I think it's because he's been diagnosed and he's on some, I don't think we're done with medications yet, but he's on some of the medications that help him, and he knows he has space to go, I'm struggling. His big brother didn't have that. We just thought we were dealing with the awful 13-year-old middle school years, and this is just what it was, not understanding that he was undiagnosed. There was
more to it, yeah.
ADHD, undiagnosed mental illness. Like, he needed help, and we didn't know that.
Right.
And that part will stay with me forever. Like, even he goes, Mom, I couldn't tell you. We didn't know. I wasn't. I was like, yeah, but I'm your mom. Like, that's my job to figure those things out. But, yeah. Yeah, do I have a favorite? Every age they're currently at that's not, like, fraught has been my favorite. So the toddler years that were fraught with me do, mommy, me do, when you do not have time for them do, let me just put your fucking shoes on for you. Those were hard, but then they make this leap into, they can do it now. And that was fun. I always like watching them grow and gain that independence and gain that understanding. I am not that person who's like, oh no, my baby. I'm like, wow, look at this human being just developing in front of me. Who's letting me be in charge of this? I think something happened at the committee meeting, but okay. But my whole thing is, my only goal has ever been, do not raise little assholes. That I need them to go out there and be good people. And when I have that in the front of my mind, the choices become less fraught. You know, Salome, I do enjoy the... Do we even have kids anymore? Where the hell are they? Oh, they're in their room. I do like that because I was that teenager and I got treated like shit for it. I got treated like there was something wrong with me. And I was like, I just want to be in my space and she'll read me a fucking book. And me, I'm like, I'll tuck my head in occasionally and go, you still breathing? Okay, we'll see you at dinner. And I'll leave them the fuck alone. Oh, the grade slipping thing. We're dealing with grade slipping thing and it is stressing me out. But also, we don't have the support from the school that we're supposed to be getting. So there's that. Jerica asks, what are some ideas on rules and health and safety rules you guys have or used in the past? So again, much like punishments, it's got to be tailored to the person.
Right.
Rules that we've had about health, safety. I think when we were apart, I kind of had a bedtime because I was notorious for staying up really late and then having to be up at like 5:00 in the morning to go to work the next day. So bedtime. The couple of times we tried to do DS and weight loss for me, I had to ask permission for indulgences, treat meals and stuff. What else did we do for that?
Now, what did kind of work a little bit better, because we figured out that with you were better off with rewards other than punishment.
Yeah, I'm a positive reinforcement person.
So, like, okay, we had a list of, we made a list of things that she wanted, whether it was a special Starbucks or a special cup or this or that. And like, okay, if you achieve this goal this week, you will get this or you will get that.
That only worked for so long because
that worked better though for you.
It worked
than
better,
any of the others.
But I need an internal motivation more than an external to keep something going, and I didn't have it. And I thought the external would do it. The external did not do it. I mean, we've done the rule because we play with orgasm control. Back in the day, we had the rule if I was going to orgasm, I had to ask for permission. What other rules did we have? Yeah. I mean, our big rule now is just we have to be I have to be respectful, but that's a rule that goes both ways.
Right.
The thing for me is more about doing the tasks that you know, the things I do.
I mean, you know, kind of right now we don't have any specific rules. You know, I do follow up with her when she's, you know, when she tells me, you know, oh man, I've got a headache. Did you take something?
Yeah.
No. You need to take something, baby girl. You know, I do kind of follow up with her, make sure she's, you know, got her doctor's appointments and things she needs. But then you do the same for me.
Right. We do that back and forth.
We do that back and forth.
And drive each other bonkers in the fucking process. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to check up on me. And that's not me saying that. That's somebody else saying that. I'm just saying. The thing is, the best, from my personal experience, and everybody will be a little different, but my personal experience is the rules only work if you have the genuine desire for whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And also if you know what it is you're trying to achieve. And where you like need the assist and the help and the rules. So like, if you're not getting enough sleep at night because it's really easy to kind of be up scrolling on your phone or be online or be doing something else, and you genuinely want to make the change, like it's big enough to you that you're like, yeah, this is worth it to me, then having a rule set that there's the ability for a check-in and there's accountability for that, and it fits with your life. Like, it's easy to make just any old fucked up rule, but if it doesn't fit with the life you're living, then you're going to be breaking that rule more often than not. Then you're getting potentially punished, if that's part of your dynamic, for a thing you're trying to change, but the rule doesn't make sense. So you got to know your motivations. You got to know what you're trying to achieve. You got to know where you need help and guidance and what the rule is supposed to do. And then the rule has to be realistic for the life you're leading. And, you know, that's from the submissive perspective. From the dominant perspective, it's also got to fit with however there's going to be a check-in and an accountability and a keeping up with it. That's also got to work for the dominant. I'm making it sound super complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated, but there are factors. And if you try rules and they don't work, it's probably one of those pieces is off somewhere. So. So, well, it's 11:48. Look at us.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. It does. Yeah, speaking of kids, I'll talk about it more on Wednesday's episode, I'm sure. 3 days, 2 nights, not like an hour and a half south of here at a band thing. The one thing I've never been as a parent is a joiner. I don't want to chaperone shit. I don't want to be the one driving you no damn place. Go hook up with another group. I tried to do that for this particular band thing. I was like, can you not room with somebody else who has a responsible adult there? He was like, I'll try, Mom. And it didn't work. So he and I got a place to stay because it's too far of a drive to go back and forth. And we're going to have an adventure. And we're both excited because we've never done this before. And also I'm keenly aware that this child's starting college in the fall and he is about to go off and start creating whatever his future life is going to look like. And it will not his mom will not be there every step of the way. So I'm like, okay, I get like this one last little thing with him that I've never gotten to do with him before. Before my little baby bird leaves the nest briefly to come home on the weekends and wash his clothes. I know what's going to happen. But.
And the youngest and I are going to be a couple of single guys.
Y'all have always been closer. Like your bond is stronger with the younger one than the older one. Although the bond you have with the oldest is getting better. And so, yeah, y'all get to have your big adventure.
Yeah. Yep.
Next question. When I'm punished, I feel horrible, but I don't feel a relief after the punishment is over, even if my partner reassures. Meanwhile, the punishment dynamic is important for me. What can I do? I would, a couple things. I would make sure that the punishment is appropriate for the thing that went wrong. And I think there needs to be lots of communication outside of the time that there's a punishment, like when things are calm and everything's fine, to talk about those feelings and what's going on in your head while it's happening, what the feelings are, what, like, where you think maybe those feelings might be coming from. And then after the punishment has been dealt out, to talk about it again, to work through it. Because in those conversations, what might happen is something connects for you of, oh, this is reminding me of that, and I don't want that feeling. And maybe you can shift something.
Another thing that happened that could be a thing. I know there are some people who don't believe in aftercare after a punishment.
Yeah.
And that is something to some that can be very helpful because it kind of lets you know that, okay, you know, this is done and we've moved on and we're, you know, putting that behind us now.
Yeah, it's sort of the reassurance that, okay, the punishment occurred for the thing you did wrong, the rule that was broken, whatever. And that things are okay. You're still loved, you're cared for, you know, whatever it is you need from your partner. I mean, look, it's been years since I had a punishment, but what I recall sort of happening after that is you would be sort of stern, like you were kind of in your like hard daddy moment of you did the wrong thing and now you've been punished. But then you would always kind of like soften just enough to rub my back, to go, you doing okay? How you're feeling? That little bit of a check-in for me reminded me that I was loved and cared for and that I was not a bad person. You didn't think I was a bad person. Here you were hugging me, holding me, being close to me, reassuring me, telling me you were proud of me for having gotten through it. Like, for me, those things were meaningful and they kind of helped soothe the battered soul kind of deal. Also, look at, are you being punished because you're for repeated offenses? Like, is the same thing happening over and over again? Then it might be time to go back to the rule or the thing that is required or you have to do that is then being a broken rule that is then turning into punishment. Somewhere along the chain, if this is a repeated thing, you're getting punished for the same offense over and over again, you got to go back to the start and go, okay, something about this rule's not working. What do we need to tweak so there's less punishment because there's fewer broken rules, you know? So that's another way to think of it. We got less than 10 minutes, about 7 minutes according to our computer clock, before we will be done for the night. So this is the time now. Quick thumbs or fingers, tap out the question that you might have. Make sure you tag us at Loving BDSM so that we can see it. Yeah.
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 No, Silent, I'm so tired. Please don't.
Yeah, no, we can't go too far past.
You have a date with the gym tomorrow?
Yep, I'd be at the gym in the morning and then take the youngest to get his hair cut.
Finally.
Yeah.
Well, I've mostly been waiting on him to go, I'm ready for a haircut. Part of it, I think, is a sensory thing. There's also a stranger danger thing. He doesn't really like people being too physically close to him, and a haircut sort of requires it. But he also doesn't know what he wants for his haircut. He just knows that he's at that lovely age where he's like, I hate my hair. It doesn't do right. Now, when dumb old mom points out that if you want to learn how to do your hair, there are YouTube videos. There's all kinds of ways. He even said, I'd love to have long hair. I'm like, look, you can have hair, any kind of hair you want, but you got to be able to take care of it. That's our rule, right? And he's like, oh, well, I don't know how to take. I'm like, I don't know either. That's why my hair looks like it does. But I'm like, there's YouTube channels and videos. We could find stuff, and if you need product, I'll help you get that. That's fine.
Oh, you mean I have to work at it?
That's what he does. And I'm like, well, you're about to get either a bowl cut or a crew cut. I don't know what to tell you. So. Yeah, silently. That's a closeness that I could see where that would be difficult. No, there were a lot of things about the youngest that I think caused a lot of unnecessary grief because we didn't quite understand the kid we were dealing with.
I mean, now looking back.
Oh, God, yeah. Everything makes sense. I always thought it was just his anxiety. No.
Yeah,
No. So I treated him like this is a very anxious child. I still miss shit because I wasn't understanding until later, until he was like 10, 11, sensory issues and stuff like that. But now it's like, oh, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. So, but yeah. No, I'm very much into my mom mode these days. Like it's like, partly we've spent the past year or so constantly going to doctor's appointments, evaluations, medical management, blah 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 blah.
Even beyond that, we're coming up on some
lots of school stuff.
Lots of school stuff. I mean, the oldest will be graduating. He's been applying to colleges. You know. And
oh my gosh! So next week he has this band thing, and then the very next day after it ends, on Sunday at 8 a.m., he's going to be at University of Florida auditioning for their music program. Yeah. He he floated the idea, and it's actually on paper not a bad idea, but it's not going to work, of getting a hotel in Gainesville to be there for the 8 a.m. instead of the 45-minute drive. And I was like, I don't think that's going to work. So, yeah. So he's, and that's his first choice college. And he hasn't heard if he's been accepted academically. So these guys, we're still waiting on that. His second choice college.
They don't announce till the end of February, I think, right? Yeah.
His second choice college has already accepted him, but he hasn't auditioned for the music program because he's waiting to see what UF does. It's exciting. It is exciting.
It is.
I want him to go to UF for multiple reasons, but one of them being he would only be 45 minutes away. But
I know.
And the stuff we've been doing with the 13-year-old is clearly working. He was willingly begged to do it, and we're figuring out how to make it happen. He's going on a band trip in March. 3 days, 2 nights. I think it's his first time in his whole life being away from home and not being at a family member's house.
True.
Because the only time he ever has spent a night away from home has been at his grandma's house. And now he's like, oh, yes, I'm going to share a hotel room with 3 other boys from the band.
He's actually excited about it.
He is so excited. I'm like, okay, but I need to talk to a responsible adult about how you're going to get your medication twice a day.
Yeah.
So we're not skipping that. So we got 2 minutes left, and thank you, Mr. Spock, for that. And thank you, Silent Wing, for that. So yeah, it's a new stage of parenting that we haven't done before. So it's like it's like all my focus is on right now. Yeah. That and work, but and that's that's going fairly well.
It is.
I mean, there's shit going on, shit storms in the background, but I'm literally staring at a stack of boxes that the post office will come pick up tomorrow. Yep. It's fucking amazing. So. Life is weird.
Yes.
Life is very weird.
Learn to just roll with it.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Yeah, I'm finally kind of getting to an age or a time in life or something where shit can be really bad. There's not good stuff going on over here, but I'm able to like really focus on the good. And there's some really cool things going on. It's exciting. Mr. Spock, the cats are little shits as always.
Yeah.
Ella's just Ella. Onyx let me rub her belly.
Really?
She swished her tail at me the whole fucking time, but she did sort of lay back and that primordial pouch just like spread, and I was like, Grr! I was like aggressive in my love for her. So it worked.
You know what's funny? I mean, as much as she will, you see her come and sit in my lap when I'm at my desk, and she will lay there, and I've seen her close her eyes, but her tail is still.
If we could like get her on some anxiety meds.
I know, right?
That baby was shaped by her first year of life on the streets. I think she's going to be a 20-year-old cat and still be vigilant.
Yeah.
Flicky tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Okay, it is midnight.
All
We are
right.
tired and I have a sore throat. So I know you are trying really hard, but we're going to go.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for being here. Thanks.
Enjoyed the conversation, time together.
Enjoy the lurkers too. We
Yeah.
see you. We love you.
Mm-hmm.
And we will we'll be back on Wednesday for a midday stream. That's all I got. Okay. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.